Okay, in this class I will discuss with you ratio, proportion and variation. So part 1 introduction. Part 1 introduction. So first, what is meant by ratio? See here, see the screen. What is meant by ratio? Simply you have to put in your mind, ratio means simply the division operation. There are so many operations, it is addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, half also is there, but ratio is defined only by division operation. Why it is to be division operation mean, see here, A is to B means A by B. The ratio of A comma B can be written as A is to B. A is to B means A by B. So ratio means division operation. A is to B can be written as A by B. The first term A is called antecedent and the second term B is called the consequent it is. So that terms names also you have to put in your mind. The first term is called antecedent and the second term is called the consequent it is. Okay. Now A is to B means A by B we learn. Now see here, A is to B is not equal to B is to A. Why A is to B is not equal to B is to A? In the ratio the order is important. In the ratio the order is important. A is to B means A by B, B is to A means B by A. So A by B and B by A both are not equal. So A is to B is not equal to B is to A. Observe the example, you can understood very easily. So 2 is to 3. What is 2 is to 3? 2 by 3. 2 by 3 means 0.666 and so on. So 3 is to 2 means 3 by 2. So 3 by 2 means 1.5. So 2 is to 3 value is 0.666. 3 is to 2 value is 1.5. So these two are not equal. 0.666 and 1.5 is not equal. So 2 is to 3 is not equal to 3 is to 2. So you have to put in your mind, ratio means in the ratio order is very important. If the order changes, its final value is also changes. So 2 is to 3 is not equal to 3 is to 2 it is. Now the next one, see here. Suppose numbers ratio is given, how can you calculate the numbers? Numbers ratio means you have to put in your mind simplified form of larger values. Ratio means simplified form of larger values it is. Suppose the numbers ratio is 2 is to 3 is to 4. Now what are the numbers? Numbers are not equal to 2, 3 and 4. So 2, 3 and 4 the simplified form of larger values it is. But how can you get the numbers now? By multiplying some constant value. So 2 into k, 3 into k, 4 into k. Okay, if the numbers ratio is 2 is to 3 is to 4, now what are the numbers? 2 into k, 3 into k, 4 into k. K means here may be any constant value. It may be into 10, into 10, into 10, into 10 or into 15, into 15, into 15 or into 1000, into 1000, into 1000. We don't know. So always you have to take into k, into k, into k where k is any constant. Numbers ratio is 1 is to 2 is to 3. Now what are the numbers now? 1 into k, 2 into k, 3 into k. Understood? Suppose numbers ratio is 1 is to 3 is to 5. What are the numbers now? 1 into k, 3 into k, 5 into k where k is any constant. So ratio means only parts it is the simplified form of larger values. Ratio means it is the simplified form of larger values. So to get the exact values multiplied by some constant value it is. Now what is the simplified form of ratio? Always you put the terms of ratio in simplified form only. Always you put the terms of ratio in simplified form only. Suppose observe few examples here. The first one is 20 is to 40 is to 60. So it is not the simplified form. It is in larger terms it is. So each and every term is divisible by 20. 21s, 22s, 23s it is. So what is the simplified form of 20 is to 40 is to 60 now? So 1 is to 2 is to 3, all are divisible by 20. Suppose all are divisible by 5, cancel with 5, by 5, by 5, by 5. All are cancel with 10, so cancel with 10, by 10, by 10, by 10 it is. And put in simplified form it is. Now what is the simplified form of 20 is to 40 is to 60 now? 1 is to 2 is to 3. Now by observing these terms 1 is to 2 is to 3 is not divisible by any one of the value. If the terms of ratio is not divisible by any one of the value, then we say they are in simplified form it is. Always you put the terms of ratio in simplified form only. Now one more example is given here. So 60 is to 75 is to 90. 60 is to 75 is to 90. Observe here, all the terms are divisible by 15. Okay, 15 4s, 15 5s, 15 6 it is. So what is the simplified form of 60 is to 75 is to 90 now? So 4 is to 5 is to 6. It is all are divisible by 15. So by observing 4 is to 5 is to 6, not divisible by any one of the value. All the terms are not divisible by any one of the value. Okay, so it is the simplified form. Always you put the terms of ratio in simplified form only. So what is meant by ratio? Simply how to put in your mind. Ratio means division operation. Ratio means division operation. Now the next one, the ratio of A is to B can be written as A by B. So the next one is in the ratio A is to B, the first term A is called antecedent and the second term B is called the consequent. Now A is to B is not equal to B is to A. Why A is to B is not equal to B is to A? If the order changes, its final value is also changes. By observing the example here, 2 is to 3 and 3 is to 2. 2 is to 3 value is 0.666. 3 is to 2 value is 1.5. So these two are not equal. If the order changes, final value is also changes. So 2 is to 3 is equal to 3 is to 2 it is. Now what is the next one? Simplified. What is the numbers ratio? If the numbers ratio is 2 is to 3 is to 4. Now what are the numbers now? 2 into k, 3 into k, 4 into k by multiplying some constant value. Ratio means only simplified form of larger values. Ratio means only simplified form of larger values. Now to get the larger values by multiplying some constant value into k into k into k where k is any constant. Now the next one is simplified form of ratio. What is meant by simplified form of ratio? All the terms in the ratio, all the terms are divisible by 5, cancel with 5, 5, 5. All the terms are divisible by 10, cancel with the 10, 10. All the terms, that is important, that point you have to put in your mind. All the terms are divisible by any one of the values, then only you have to divide. Okay, now here by observing the example 20, 40 and 60, 20 is to 40 is to 60, all are divisible by 20. Now one more example, 60 is to 75 is to 90, all are divisible by 15. It is simplified form of ratio it is. Okay, now types of ratio, there are different types of ratios it is. Now the first one is here, what is the duplicate ratio of A is to B? Duplicate ratio means you have to put in your mind simply square of the terms. Duplicate ratio of A is to B is A square is to B square. What is the duplicate ratio of 2 is to 3 now? 2 square is to 3 square. 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9. So duplicate ratio means simply how to put in your mind square of the values. Duplicate means square of the values, square of the terms it is. Now what is the subduplicate ratio of A is to B? Root A is to root B. Root means power 1 by 2. So A power 1 by 2 is to B power 1 by 2. So duplicate means power 2, subduplicate means power 1 by 2. You can put in your mind very easily. Duplicate means power 2, subduplicate means power 1 by 2. Subduplicate ratio of A is to B is A power 1 by 2 is to B power 1 by 2. Now here what is the subduplicate ratio of 16 is to 25. So root 16 is to root 25. Root 16 is 4, root 25 is 5 it is. Now the third one is triplicate ratio. What is the triplicate ratio of A is to B? A cube is to B cube. Triplicate means 3. How to put in your mind very easily. Triplicate means 3. So power 3, power 3. So the triplicate ratio of A is to B is A cube is to B cube it is. What is the triplicate ratio of 2 is to 3? 2 cube is to 3 cube. 2 cube means 2 into 2 into 2. You have to multiply it by 3 times it is. 2 cube is 8, 3 cube is 27. What is the triplicate ratio of 2 is to 3 now? 8 is to 27. Now the fourth one is what is the subtriplicate ratio of A is to B? A power 1 by 3 is to B power 1 by 3. You can remember very easily. Triplicate means power 3, power 3. Subtriplicate means power 1 by 3, power 1 by 3. Now what is the subtriplicate ratio of 8 is to 27 now? 8 power 1 by 3 is to 27 power 1 by 3. 8 can be written as 2 cube. Okay, 8 can be written as 2 cube. 27 can be written as 3 cube. 3 gets cancelled, get 2 is to 3 it is. What is the subtriplicate ratio of 8 is to 27 now? 2 is to 3 it is. Now the next one is what is the inverse ratio? What is the inverse ratio of A is to B? Inverse means reverse of the terms. Inverse means reverse of the term. The inverse ratio of A is to B is B is to A. The inverse ratio of 3 is to 5 is 5 is to 3 it is. Now the last one is, sixth one is, what is the compound ratio of A is to B, C is to D, E is to F and so on. Just like number of ratios is given, how can you calculate the compound ratio of the given ratio? Simply product of the ratios. Simply product of the ratios gives the compound ratio of the given ratios it is. Now here what is the compound ratio of A is to B, C is to D, E is to F and so on? A by B into C by D into E by F into and so on it is. Product of the ratios gives the compound ratio of the given ratio. By observing the example here, what is the compound ratio of 2 is to 3, 6 is to 5, 10 is to 7 and okay, how can you calculate? 2 by 3 into 6 by 5 into 10 by 7 it is. By cancellation what you got finally? So 8:7, that is the compound ratio of the given ratio. These are the types of ratios it is. Okay. So in the next video I will discuss with you part 2 introduction. This is part 1 introduction. So in the next video I will discuss with you part 2 introduction. Okay. Thank you to all of you.